We have
Sure.
5 August journalists around the table, and they can introduce themselves when they ask a question. But if you want to start with something to say, and then they'll fire away.
Yeah, thank you for coming up, and I'm sorry I'm not there. I'm in D.C. working with our congressional delegation trying to get some additional money for police training, prosecutor training, and victims fund work. But I really do want to stop and say that I'm just elated about the positive jury verdict that occurred in the Alan Scarcella case. Our lead prosecutors, Judith Hawley and Chris Freeman, did one heck of a job. The staff, the cops, everybody. Mr. Scarcella's conduct was truly outrageous. Racist language and conduct is simply not acceptable. And I pledge to charge any other similar case that occurs. But I'm hoping now that our society in the state of Minnesota can move forward. We're healing. We need to make sure our communities are supportive of all people, regardless of race, sex, political beliefs. I think we can do this in Minnesota, and I'm going to do my part, and I know all the people in the Hennepin County Attorney's Office will do that. So we're pleased, very pleased with this verdict, and I'll answer a couple questions.
Mike, Paul Bloom, Fox 9, quick question for you. I know there are like lesser included offenses on this. Chuck said to ask you directly, what type of punishments are we looking at? What type of punishments will your prosecutors be asking for?
Well, the easiest answer, Paul, is we're going to ask for the maximum permitted by law. We find this conduct extraordinarily outrageous. It's 86 months for the first-degree assault. For the second-degree assaults, it's 36 months. It's not clear how many consecutive sentences the judge will give it, but we will ask her for the max, and he deserves every minute he gets.
What's that, 10 plus years?
Probably closer to, I did a little work on it, Mike. It's probably, if we just do the 86 months plus the 36 months, that's 230 months, so that's 19 years.
Oh, closer to 20. Okay.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's the max that's what we'll ask for. We anticipate we're not going to get that much, but we're going to ask for it because we think, 150 months is justified because of his outrageous conduct.
Mike, this is Lou Ragoose from KARE 11.
Yes, sir.
My question is, what was the biggest obstacle to overcome during this trial to achieve a guilty verdict?
Well, this case, like so many of ours, have different people saw it occurring different ways. And what we had from a number of witnesses clearly told one story. What the videos told us was clearly one story. And our job as prosecutors is to try to figure out the truth and then to convince the jury. So the conflicting stories, the conflict, how it happened very quickly, that's kind of typical of, unfortunately, in many cases we have, and that's always the challenge. What did happen, and what can we prove with admissible evidence?
Hey, Mike, this is Brant from NPR. Real quick, I want to make sure I'm clear on how you get to 12 convictions out of the 7 originals. I just want to make sure I can... Okay.
And Mike, Paul Bloom here. One last time. We heard from Cameron Clark, one of the shooting victims, was here and relieved, grateful afterwards. But he really described a sort of a cold, calculating, almost luring away from the police headquarters, away from the cameras, into the darkness. Is that how this prosecutor's office views what unfolded that night?
Luring is... I'm not certain that we really saw luring. What we saw is a confrontation. We saw some violence. We saw some people leaving. We saw some additional conflict. And we saw somebody pull out a gun and shoot. I think it's kind of that basic. And so, I wasn't there, neither was he, I don't believe. And so only people who are really there could tell us, and what we have to do is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, which we did on every count, and the result will be that Mr. Scarcella should get a prison term of 150 to 200 months, which he deserves.
Thanks, Mike.